let's be reasonable here, people. What other things can be left behind that scripture talks about and they can be dug up to this day? What about the skeletons of the giants, right?
So there it is. Nephilim door. It's like 50 to 60 feet high. It's like 14, 15 feet wide. Little weird porch on the front. Stunning. Here we are in the Canyonlands, near where the Citadel was discovered in the Grand Canyon. And here you go.
Goliath was a Philistine warrior who challenged the Israelites to send out a champion for single combat. David, armed only with a slingshot and faith in God, brought the giant down with a single stone. Goliath was said to be between 7 and 11 feet tall and possibly descended from a people known as the Anakites or the Anakim, and the Anakim were descended from the Nephilim. But references to giants in history go back even further. The ancient Sumerians had an equivalent to the Anakim, a race of gods who are sometimes described as giants.
The Anunnaki. And if you don't know who the Anunnaki are, here's a hint.
There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them. The same became mighty men which were of old, men of renown.
History of giants in North America. The Paiutes, a Native American tribe indigenous to parts of Nevada, have an oral tradition that they've told to early white settlers of the area about a race of red-haired white giants or barbarians that their ancestors referred to as the Citadel. The story was written down in 1882 by Sarah Hopkins, daughter of a Paiute Indian chief, in her book Life Among the Paiutes, Their Wrongs and Claims. The oral tradition goes that the Paiutes were warring with these giants and joined together with other tribes to exterminate the giants out of their land. The Paiutes claim that one day they chased the last remaining red-haired giants into a cave, Lovlock Cave. They demanded that the giants come out of the cave, but the giants refused. The tribe went on to start a large fire at the mouth of the cave. The smoke drove out a few of them, in which the Paiutes shot a hail of arrows at them. The fire and smoke proceeded to burn alive or asphyxiate the giants that remained in the cave. In 1886, a mining engineer from Lovlock named John T. Reed was told of the legend by local Indians, who took him to the site to prove that it existed. Reed wanted to get an archaeological dig started, but two miners realized that there was a vast amount of guano in the cave, a main ingredient for gunpowder, and created a company extracting the guano. While extracting the guano, the miners found tons of artifacts. They later contacted the California Anthropology Department, who came out and did excavation digs, in which they found approximately 10,000 archaeological specimens, including tools, bones, baskets, and weapons. It's rumored that the bones of two large giants was found within the cave, a claim that was later denied by the archaeologists doing the dig. But one of the most interesting finds, in my opinion, is a sandal they found over 15 inches long. Some people exploring the cave in 2013 found what looked to be a massive handprint, way larger than the average man's hand. The cave is now considered a historical site in Nevada. We also have many other accounts of giant skeleton bones found in mounds all across America. Lake Delavan in Wisconsin is one of those locations, where it's said in reference to a mound there, quote, "In it was found the skeleton of a man of gigantic size. The bones measured from head to foot over 9 feet and were in fair state of preservation. The skull was as large as half a bushel measure. Some finely tempered rods in copper and other relics were lying near the bones." Briefly worth mentioning is, why would these historical sites, these museums, these colleges, all these different organizations hide the discovery of these giant bones?
Simple. Because this is the ancient land. This is where the giants dwelt. This is where Jerusalem is, over here. Egypt is over here. All of the holy lands are over here. Where is the most artifacts found in the whole world concerning the Israelite people? North America. Matter of fact, Africa, South Africa specifically, don't have any artifacts. And for the Middle East to be the Holy Land, why they only have about 2 or 3 artifacts? They only have a few artifacts. We have thousands of them. Now check this out.
Guys, here we are at Hidden Mountain. And you know how they say, where's Waldo? Well, tell me where the stone is. This is first impressions, the first moment I'm seeing it. And this is the mountain here. And if we zoom in, there's the Decalogue Stone. Okay, we'll get a closer view for you in a second. But it's amazing just to think that, you know, this could just be some mountain. But here we have Paleo-Hebrew. Here we are, and we have the first line defaced on the Decalogue Stone. Okay, but we can still read this, and I'm hoping that the video will come out. But what we have here is we have I am, and then we have a Yod, Hey, Vav, Hey here, Yahweh, I am Yahweh, Alu Hakem, or like, it's like Elohim, your God who brought or has taken you out of the land. Okay, and then the next line, some people say, so our next line is right here. Some people say that this next line is an insertion. But in talking with people, some people suggested that maybe this is correct. So let me just read this to you the way it's written, and we'll look at it in a couple ways. But if we just read this in the way this is written, it says, I am Yahweh, your God, who has taken you out of the land, and there shall not be, or not be, gods, other gods before, lo, my face of Egypt from the house of slaves. Okay, so that's the way it reads, guys. But other people, and then there may be another view where we have an insertion here. We have a arrow pointing up and a dot. Now this dot we see this consistently throughout, is completing a sentence. Okay, so another view is that the person started the first line, and the second line started the first commandment, and then in the third line completed the statement that was actually supposed to be finished here. Okay, I'm not certain of that, but you know, this is clearly something we can read. This is a place where we had a zodiac here on Hidden Mountain. As you can see, this has been destroyed. If we look at the side of this and the angle, I can show you another photograph of someone else standing here, standing in my exact position. We can see the road behind, the bushes, this angle of the rock, and I believe this stone, and this area here would have held a Mazzaroth. We still can see that Mazzaroth, but this is very disappointing because you know, people are defacing these sites. So on this, we would have had signs and things to give us maybe indication even of the children of Israel at a time, because it marked an eclipse and everything else. So this is, we've been looking several hours for this and finally found the exact stone, but it has been destroyed. So guys, most of you are in the United States in my audience, and you know, you're in the promised land. It's time to take this this land. This is the promised land.
There's many people uneducated to these facts, but there's many more people who are just in denial. And they have this information and it's right in their faces, but they will not admit it. Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 5. They shall ask the way to Zion with their faces thitherward, saying, come and let us join ourselves to the Lord in a perpetual covenant that shall not be forgotten. What is the definition of thitherward? Towards that place. So they walking towards this place scratching their heads because they know, like, I know where Zion is. It's not this way. The reason they asked, what way is Zion? Meanwhile, they looking straight at Zion, not even realizing. Why? Because they forgot their resting place. Verse 6, my people has been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from the mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place. How do I know this is future prophecy? Read verse 4. In those days and at that time, said the Lord, the children of Israel shall come, they and the children of Judah together. Check it out and wake up.